What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Real Estate Reserve podcast. Today is Friday, April 28th. It's a little bit gloomy in my office in Columbia, Maryland, where Ian's located up in North Wales, Philly area. Yeah, I can see behind him, and
It is raining.
It doesn't look as gloomy as here, but anyways, welcome. I'm Jason Balen from Hard Money Bankers, Ian Horowitz from Equity Warehouse. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. We promise we'll keep you entertained and give you as much knowledge as we can. We try to be as transparent as possible to help you in any way that we possibly can. And if you are a returning guest or returning listener or viewer, welcome back. We really, really, truly appreciate you following us, and thanks so much. And
it is actually gloomy out. I guess that means my lighting is working well enough that you don't think it's gloomy out, but it's literally just starting to rain. The storms are nasty. From what I understand, I think we both have friends of ours or family members that are traveling to the West Coast and got jammed up through this storm coming across the country. But it's kind of a great foreshadow to what's going on in the marketplace today. And that's why we're here. We're going to talk about what's going on in the market, whatever else is top of mind, all kinds of sports events, all kinds of stuff going on. And we just want to get on here and wrap. And yeah, the market's fucked up. That's it. That's all I got. Turn it off. We're done. But nah, man, it's just kind of crazy to what's going on right now, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on who you're asking and what niche inside investing that you're in. You know, for some things it's good, and for some things it's bad. As discussed, it's end of April 2023, and we like to do market updates of what we're seeing in our local markets, or in our spaces, kind of on the debt side, the equity side, where there's deals, what types of deals are going on currently. Personally, I see lots of creative deals, and I'd like to use the term brain damage, but I would just say creative. That's probably a better way to say it. Like, there are deals and opportunities out there, and I see them. We lend on them. We look at them on the acquisition side, but they are not clean. Like, they are creative. Like, you gotta use your thinking, your thinking cap, and figure out workarounds of how you're going to structure your debt. How are you going to do this deal? Is it going to be a longer term deal? Is it going to be a shorter term deal? But they're out there. We're lending on them every day. It's just a matter of the loans that we see. I mean, they're creative. And I think I was talking to you, Ian, the other day, and I was like, God, everything I got in my pipeline is just not clean. And you're like, charge more. And it's like, I'm happy to charge more, but like, I'd rather charge less and keep them clean. Yeah. I'd rather not have to work so hard on some of these deals and just be and have stuff that's just really, really clean and easy. But that's just not the case right now, and that's okay. Because let's keep in mind that if you're ambitious, I don't even want to use the word smart, but if you're ambitious and you can figure out ways to solve problems and challenges, you can be very successful in a real estate market like today, because most people are lazy and, I use the word dumb, but they're not willing to put in the extra work. And by doing so, you can create a premium on deals.
Yeah, no, this is where sellers, rubber meets the road. Some people that bought deals that, debt's exploding on. It gets real turbulent for them because they can't meet their debt service coverage ratio needs. They need to slam capital in the deal rather than getting capital out of the deal. You got, not to mention, you have just, a declining marketplace in certain areas. I know a lot of people are doing really well still with flips. People are doing well with single family rentals, but things are getting exponentially more expensive. It's getting harder and harder and harder to keep up. Just getting work done at my house, I'm like, God, I can't stand the prices, let alone some of the stuff we're doing on some of our projects. It's like, it's just, every time you turn around, everything's doubling at a rapid pace. And, this is where you see a lot of guys who go down the lifestyle route, and being like, oh, I got a few deals, I'm good. And it's like, they just turn it off. This is where all your wealth gets evaporated immediately. The same way when people were all in on the stock market in 2008 and it evaporated immediately overnight. It's a similar type situation. Is it happening as fast? Is it as aggressive? Is it as in your face? No, but in the end, it is still a a time that we need to pay attention to what's going on, and know what you're buying, know what you're getting into, know what debt terms that you're entering into, be transparent with your equity investors of where they stand and what's going on, and true reasonable expectations. I mean, I can just tell you in our storage portfolio, doing the dynamic pricing every single day, we've noticed some trend lines down. Some trend lines are up, but a lot of the trend lines overall are just down. Our residential real estate, yes, rental rates are up, but the leasing volume is slowed down a little bit. So it's kind of like one of those, where's the median target to where you want to be in the marketplace? I will say Gaslight Square, our leasing activity has been really good on an office, and everyone says office dead.
It's crazy, huh?
So listening to what people are saying and saying, oh, this asset class is dead and this one's the best. No, you need to do your own due diligence and figure out what's going on. And it's going to be an ever-changing marketplace, and that's what makes it fun. And yes, creative deals are fun. Creative deals are the way to go. But that's always been a common theme from day one. You should always have a bunch of different tools in your toolbox to be able to operate. And when you have easy markets, you don't need them as much. When you have crazy markets like this is where all the tools in the war chest come out, and you start playing around with different ideas.
And I'm going to piggyback off that because I like what you said about what people are like, no, office is dead. You can't buy office. That's the worst asset class ever. Well, got to keep in mind that we're all small business owners, entrepreneurs, deal hustlers. Like, we're in the, 100,000 to whatever, 10 mil, few mil asset, per property assets. We're not doing hundreds of millions or billions or trillions of ownership or lending on office complexes. If your entire business model was, I'm just going to lend on office, or I'm just going to buy office, and you have to deploy hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, you're probably a little bit screwed. But if you're trying to buy a good opportunity in your local market, or a few good opportunities in some local markets, it's a great time. It's hard to get capital for it, right? Meaning there's not as much competition. Hard to get So you look at it a few different ways. One person says, oh, it's hard to get capital, I can't do this. The other person says, oh, it's hard to get capital. That means no one else can do it, but I can figure out a way because I'm creative and ambitious to do it, right? So that's a good thing when stuff like that potentially happens for, ambitious, proactive types of people. So it's interesting to hear what you said about, hey, I have my good asset classes that aren't performing as well, but my office asset class, which everyone thinks is the worst, is doing great right now. And we've been getting a lot of offices, professional offices and medical office loans that we've done. And, we've required significant down payments on them, no doubt, not giving super high leverage on them. But that being said, these investors are buying things at good numbers, and they can still make the debt service work. They can still make the numbers work because of it. So when anyone's like, oh, hey, this is a bad asset class, I would never do that. That might be on a large scale, but on a small scale, on a mom and pop scale that you're operating on, I mean, you could go buy something that nobody's interested in on a one-off and work your butt off with it and turn it into gold, right? Something at scale, maybe not, but something on a small scale, absolutely. A few other comments that I had related to what we were just talking about that I lost. I don't know. Keep talking, and
I don't know. I went off the deep end, but in the end, I think it always comes back to knowing what you want to do, how you want to do it, and what you're willing to put up with. Right?
Life in air. That's what I.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'll just hit the pause button. Go ahead. Yes. The lifestyle businesses and watching capital being evaporated.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yes. Okay. So I have some comments on that because you made some very, very good points and related to inflation, related to lack of liquidity in the marketplace right now. And even though you might not see this in real time, it has affected everybody. I promise that every single person's household nut has gone up. Their monthly bills, their monthly expenses have gone up. It's pretty substantial. And I venture to say that it's not just in the hundreds of dollars, it's in the thousands of dollars, which is a ton of money. Food costs, travel, insurance, all of these things have gone up a ton. And anybody you talk to says, I can't leave my house unless I'm going to spend $100, which is a lot of money, right? Like that's adding up in so many different spots. And we're going to play a clip here from Daymond John in a second that I found on TikTok recently, and I really liked it. And I'll tell you kind of mine and Ian's view. And Damon's was very similar to ours. I guess mine differs from Ian's because I actually pay property. I actually pay taxes because I'm in a business model that is not tax efficient. But we'll talk about that in a second. But the point being is that stuff's more expensive. And if you're in the, hey, I've got a few deals and, you know, it makes me $10,000 a month passively and I don't need to do anything else, like, okay, well, that's great during good times. But like all of a sudden, you know, your overhead without doing anything more has skyrocketed, you know, and some people it could be 30%, 10, 20, 30%. I don't know, depending on what your normal lifestyle is. So between the cost of everything, literally everything being substantially higher, everything from a Happy Meal to going to Chipotle to, you know, traveling to everything, like everything is significantly more expensive to, well, guess what? Debt is significantly more expensive. Like go look at what your HELOC was a year ago and it was 4%. Now it's almost 10% if you have a HELOC. You know, if you have, some sort of adjustable rate loan and on a mortgage, well, that's significantly higher now, or a commercial asset. Or if you had anything that was attached to prime or a car loan, or you're buying a new car, whatever it is, significantly more expensive. It's things that people don't realize occur. And, you know, I had a conversation with a friend where, you know, it explained to them what my goal is. And it's like, well, why do you need that much money? It's like, well, I might not need that much money, right? But you might need it, right? Because things change. Things occur that happen. So why don't we go through our thought process of money, and then we'll do Damon's TikTok. We'll play that. So in essence, I always think of things as thirds, right? And this is hard to do at the beginning, but at the end, you know, it keeps you disciplined as it grows. So for instance, I look at things as like a third of my income, a third of my money goes to taxes, a third of it goes to investments and assets or savings, and a third goes to household expenses, right? Now do the math on that. That's hard, right? So let's say you make $10,000 a month, which is a lot of money, right? $3,000 would go to taxes, $3,000 would go to asset or savings, and you only get to spend $3,000. Right? Most people that make $10,000 a month or $120,000 a year, chances are they're spending more than $3,000, right? And that's why you got to be disciplined to do that. And also, as you make more money, you know, taxes aren't $3,000 or more than that.
Yeah.
To do so,
most people over leverage their house, right? And it's
But you get the point. Like that's the play. The play is thirds. And Daymond came up, and his is called the $3 rule, which is very, very similar. He doesn't talk about taxes because this is net money he looks at, which is, you know, but the principle is the same, right? You pay you invest, you pay Uncle Sam if you have to pay taxes, and you live on it. So I'm going to play this real quick. I'm going to bring this up on the screen. Ian, if for some reason you can't hear the volume, just put your hand up so I can, and we'll figure it out. You ready?
Let me show you the exact way the $3 works. So if you guys made $3, 3,000, 3 million. Here's exactly how it's supposed to happen. The first dollar is supposed to go for what you have to pay for, food, bills, whatever the case is. The second is an investment, real estate, whatever the case is. And the third dollar, you go and you buy what you would like to have, but you don't have to have. And if you don't buy it, then you put it back into number two. What most Americans do is they put the money in, they do number 3 first because they worked hard, they want to treat themselves. Then they never get to number 2, and then all of a sudden number 1 is late and they're paying 18% interest on their credit cards. But if you teach your kids what 1, 2, 3 is when money comes into the house, because when you look at your kids and go, what the hell are you doing? You know how hard I work? They go, no, and I don't give a shit. I came into this world just like this, and you were taking care of everything. Why would I give a shit?
I think that's a good way. That might be an easier way to represent it than what I have in my head, especially for a kid. It's like, hey, you make $3. One of those dollars is going in your bank account, or one of those dollars is going into investment, or whatever, right? The second second dollar, obviously goes for necessity, and then the third dollar goes to wants, not needs. Hey, you want to go on a vacation? You want to get a nice pair of shoes, whatever the case is. And the smart folks will say, screw that. I don't want that because I want passive income as I grow older. So I'm going to reinvest that. And then it's going to grow that much quicker. One more thing on the life and air situation, and then you can jump in because something I think we're both passionate about. Things change, right? And the goal is to, like most people, when they work, they have active income, very little passive income, right? And it covers all their expenses. The goal is to have passive income when you replace everything as passive income. But like things get expensive, things rise in price. We see it now. It's important to continue the momentum, especially when you have, a business that's growing. It's, you stick to it, right? Like these are the earning years, right? You move, you be proactive, you be ambitious, and you get to whatever level you can. And hopefully you can get to a point where you can have buku bucks that are passive. And then you don't get a reduction. You'll never have a reduction in principal.
Yeah. And there's like, I don't know, man. It's hard because like, I get it. Like there's some days where it's like, man, I just wish I could just fucking fuck this. We have enough. I'll get by and not have to do another deal. But then it's like, it's more than just you. And I think that's the difference between building a business and building a portfolio of properties that support your lifestyle, right? And anyone can build a portfolio of properties to support your lifestyle. We can get into the debate, will they stand the test of time through inflation and everything else? Or we could talk about building a business. And you can be a solopreneur and build a business versus building just a portfolio of properties to survive. And it becomes more than just you. It becomes a lot more than just you. And yes, inflation is real. It evaporates wealth immediately. It evaporates spending dollars immediately. That's all, stuff in real time that we all need to be considerate of right now. And there's 2 ways to combat that. One is to go make more money, which is, I believe, the right way to do it. But most people, what they want to do is they're like, well, I'll just cut expenses. I'll cut expenses. You can only cut so many expenses till there's nothing left to cut, right? That's like, and I'm not just talking on a business level. It's a personal level too. You got to eat. You need a place over your head. You don't need a brand new car, but in the end, you still need a vehicle or something to get around. You need to pay for transportation of sorts. And those things are getting increasingly expensive. So you can sit here and say, okay, well, how do I do this? Well, if you're still working a W-2 and you're trying to invest more money, you might have to work overtime. You might need a second job. You might need a side hustle to get you over that hump. And then once you're over that hump, you've done the hardest thing. Keep the foot to the floor and keep freaking going, dude. Just keep it to the floor and go, right?
Yeah.
You've gotten yourself over the hill. Why? I don't understand why most people stop. And I think they're scared to take on what's next and have to start over and have the traumas of saying, all right, well, now I'm building something, and you're going to get kicked in the dick a lot all the way up this hill. But that's what makes it fun, right? Like that's where your creative mindset comes in. That's where building a business comes in and growing and building something that you can't stop. And while I don't want to say what Jason has or I have is something that's not stoppable, there's also a ton of momentum behind it that gives us a lot of wherewithal to still be nimble to the market. But if the market changes, we still have income coming in for a foreseeable future to give us the runway to go and find a new asset class or go and find a new way to invest. if things were to go sideways.
Well,
And
the
I think
goal,
that's the big difference.
I mean, the goal is to create a snowball and make that snowball big and let it grow. And even if you screw up something, the snowball will save you. I remember one of the chapters in our first book, The Whiteboard, and I think Chris was the one who wrote this title, was "The Snowball Will Save You," and that's like, if you can wrap your brain around that, the snowball will save you. Like, it makes a lot of sense, right? You start very small as a snowball, and as you grow and as it goes downhill, you could get more momentum. If something steps in your way, no problem, right? You roll it over and you keep it moving. So I don't know. I know a lot of people, maybe they'll agree with this, but in reality, they probably won't do much more difference, which they should. But I think this is one point right now in the market where, like, it's hitting people, right? The lazier investors, or the ones that aren't as ambitious or don't want to work that hard, they're going to have a hard time finding deals because, like we just talked about, like, you got to be proactive and they're brain damaged and you got to be a little bit more creative. But guess what? That's better. That weeds out competition. You don't have to deal with 10 other people anymore. All you have to do is work a little bit harder and then you'll get it. And it's a good deal with potential more profit margins.
Yeah, I'm over here trying to recruit Dustin to come on the show, but we're going to have him on for an interview. This man right here, I've watched in the last year and a half, where everyone says the market's all jacked up, has built a land business of selling hunting land to hunters, some with houses on them, some with just pure raw land, in a market that presumably everyone says is absolutely terrible. And he's gone through and he is absolutely crushing it because he carved out a niche. He found something that he aligns with and has been absolutely freaking crushing it. And it's been really cool to watch and really fun. And it's funny that he says, "Oh my God, the market." He's texting me here. He's got kids in the car, so he can't do it. But either way, it's like, yeah, everyone talks about the market and how bad land is and how bad this is and how bad that is. Meanwhile, he's out there selling land all across the talking rural central PA. And for those of you that don't know Pennsylvania, everyone thinks about Philly and Pittsburgh and it's super populated. The rest of Pennsylvania is nothing. I mean, farmland, dude, like nothing. And he's working out in these counties, turning land at an unbelievable rate, which is just amazing to me. So it just goes to show you that it doesn't matter what the market is. There's always a way to make dollars. You just got to figure out how it fits into what you're doing and how you want to do it.
We're doing a land loan right now.
Really?
Yeah.
All that land talk the other day. Look at that. See, the podcast pays off, Jay.
Wait, what do you mean?
Was it after we did the podcast with Seth the other week?
I'd already done a land loan for the same borrower
okay.
on the same exact property years ago, but he came back. Wait, so why do you think? I don't know. No, I mean, it was, I don't know. I don't know where you're getting at, but that's okay.
Oh, no, I was just making a bad joke because we always talk about, again, it's like the podcast. Oh, everyone's doing podcasts. You shouldn't do podcasts. Well, guess what? We still do podcasts, right? Like, because we enjoy doing them and it does bring stuff to us and it keeps us in tune with what the marketplace is. We got someone else in the back room. See if we can get him to come on here and talk. But the market's just, it's always interesting and it's what you want the market to be, right? Yes, there's intrinsic and underwriting that doesn't allow for certain things to happen. But if you can figure out that one piece to make it click, you'll be successful while other people are on the sidelines. I think we've talked about this several times on here of the big institutional guys, pencils down. Why would you ever put your pencil down? Continue to underwrite and you're going to stumble on something. So,
yeah. And again, like, I'm not saying that you don't want to follow potential trends of investors that are bigger than you or, a lot of these bigger guys are leaving asset classes and they're leaving geographic areas, right? Well, that could be good news instead of bad news, right? You think it's bad news because, like, oh, there's no more opportunities in the state of Pennsylvania anymore. It's like, really, there's not any opportunities there,
right.
Or there's no opportunities in multifamily or storage because everybody else is buying them. Yeah. You're like, okay, maybe they're not going to come and slap you in the face, but that doesn't mean there's not opportunities there. And for all of us, and probably all of us listening, that our entire goal is to just do some deals. We don't need to do thousands and millions and of them, and we're not trying to deploy $100 million. It's like, hey, we're trying to do this on a smaller scale. Like, there's plenty of opportunities.
Correct. And here's a guy. We're going to bring in John. We're going to talk about John and what he's seen in the marketplace, but he always seems to find opportunities, and everyone's always amazed that he's built a portfolio right in his own backyard. John, what's up, brother? How you doing?
What's going on, fellas?
What up? What up?
Nothing, man. What do you got? It's not raining in Ohio?
No,
It already passed.
No, it never
No.
rains here. It's always sunny.
Always
right.
sunny. Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
That's why you live there, huh?
Yeah.
What's up, man? Hey, do you have a few minutes just to kind of talk about what you're seeing in the marketplace? And
Yeah. And I like
you
what
know.
you guys were just saying last few minutes. I only caught last 3 or 4 minutes, but yeah, so I'm in storage 100%. From what I'm seeing, and I'm in smaller towns for the most part, but from what I'm seeing is a lot of people are scared right now, which is great for me because I'm still chasing deals. Now I've slowed down this year because I closed on a few in the past 3 months, but people are definitely slowing down. Seems like people are scared. I'll tell you, just my facilities, I'm not getting any letters. I think I've gotten maybe 2 this year. People are scared. People are sitting on the sidelines, which is great. That means I would rather buy now than last year. There's less competition. I've also noticed that there's a lot of things going on, especially storage world, but storage it's changing and has changed, and it can't be a hobby. If you're trying to find deals or do it as a hobby, it's going to take you a while to find something. It's become more professional. If you're trying to find off-market deals, you better have a more or less a wholesaling kind of business in finding deals.
That's I would 100% agree with that. Now, what would you tell someone? You started to allude to it of like, don't treat it like a hobby. You're a newbie right now, and this market's all jacked up. We got involved in real estate in 2012. There were some tailwinds, even though people were like traumatized. Like, what would you tell someone right now if they're like trying to get started? Like, how do you overcome all this BS that's out there right now?
You gotta time block. You gotta find time during the day. If you're working full time, you gotta find 2-3 hours a day. Keep it consistent. Whatever you're gonna do. I know, Ian, you find deals through brokers. If you're gonna network through brokers, go that route and network with every single broker you possibly can and stay on top of them. The key is to follow up and just stay consistent. I think a lot of people aren't consistent. I mean, right now, how many people have left the market because they're scared right now? They're not being consistent.
Yep, that's 100% true. And I think people are always like, "Oh, you guys just magically find deals," and that's not actually the case. It is persistence. It is, doing the same thing over and over and over again. I think Jason could probably comment. His business is not like overly exciting all the time, right? Especially his business of paper. It's like you do the same thing: single, 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 boom, home run, single, 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 boom, triple, right? Like. I think that's just the way it works for all of us. We're always just trying to hit singles and getting the reps in and doing the practice of underwriting deals that might not make sense and just going at it over and over and over again.
Jab, 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 right hook, Gary Vee style.
Yeah.
I was talking to this potential hard money lender in another state yesterday, and I was like, I'll be honest, like, I'm not sure if this business is going to be sexy enough for you, because you're used to doing fix and flips, new construction. You're used to making, putting out $100,000, getting leverage on it and then making a lot of money on these deals. Like, this might not be for you. This is a slow and steady business model, right? Slow and steady wins the race. But again, like we talked about, and, I think both of your models are probably similar. I know Ian was pretty aggressive at the time, but I think settled down now that you've got, a core portfolio of growth, right? Because you were in growth mode, right? Growth. And like at some point you do got to be in growth. But I think, you have that well-oiled machine, that snowball that's in place, and it just, it keeps moving. It keeps moving and it gets bigger. But going back to some marketing stuff, like you have to market every day. Like you have to be doing something proactive every day. And I know that's overwhelming for a lot of folks, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that you have to be doing all the heavy lifting every day. At the beginning you do, and then you put systems in place, and you put employees in place, and you put software and processes in place. And next thing you know, like whatever, maybe you're spending money on Facebook, maybe you have an automated email campaign, maybe you have a virtual assistant that's doing this, maybe whatever it is, it doesn't matter. The point is that's where it goes. And then, next thing you have deal flow that's coming in. One of the biggest, and I'm going to relate this to marketing, but one of the, there was two people that I don't want to say looked up to, because that's not the right thing, but two people that I heard speak, and both of them like really, really got me. The first was Dave Lindahl years ago. He was a big multifamily apartment guy, and I saw him speak probably in like maybe 04 or 05 when I started kind of, we'd already owned a few properties by then. And he and this is cheesy, but it got me, right? He was standing on stage, and he took out all these checks from his pocket, and he goes, "You see all, I own all these multifamily properties. You see all these checks. I don't even know what tenancies are from. I can't even keep track of all these checks. I just have checks every month. I just have checks coming in from all my tenants." I was like, "Ooh, I want that. I like that." And then I relate that to marketing, and when deals come in, like I just want deals to hit me every day. Every day, I want people calling me, texting me, emailing me, showing up in my office. Like, "Hey, I have a deal. And then you figure out which ones work, and you do those deals. And I think that's a very good, relatable thing for all of us is you need access to capital and you need access to deals. And if you're marketing and you're on the lookout for those regularly, they will magically appear at your doorstep. It's that simple. And it's hard work at the beginning, but then the maintenance side of it is way less work. So I think that's some encouragement for anybody kind of just starting out, that go out there and start doing it. Because guess what? Week one, you're going to get one deal to look at. And me, John, or Ian might get 100. And that's okay. We have the upper hand at the beginning. And you're going to have to work harder to do so. But then over time, it'll be an equal and level playing field.
100%. John, got anything else for the viewers?
No, I'm simple.
Hey, did you hear the Damon John TikTok, or did you hop on afterwards?
Hop on afterwards. What was it?
Rewatch it. I don't have it on my screen anymore, but just rewatch this video. Actually, just Google Damon John $3
rule.
$3 rule. It's interesting. Okay. It's very simple. It's something that Ian and I talk a lot about, but I think that it's a good way to talk to your kids about it as well.
I thought you were going to give me golf tips. Said you're giving me money.
Oh, we
tips.
can do that. I got that.
That's even better.
I got that over here too. I don't think Damon John can help you with golf tips. We got other people can help you with golf tips. I just don't know about Damon. Hank Haney per Ian. I don't know. Ian lives literally.
I got my new slice fixer, and guess what? Don't fucking fix my goddamn slice.
You work out of a golf studio, and you still
suck at golf.
And you still had to buy. Not even suck at golf. Everyone sucks at golf, but you still had to buy golf paraphernalia.
Yeah, what is
well,
that?
You have to, right? Because it's like you're in your head. It's the same thing with real estate. It's like, man, I need this course. I need that. I need this. I need that. You know what? Just go out and play all the time, and it'll be fine. Or go out and do deals, and you actually fucking learn it. And
you're not
consistent. What I need to do.
How did you not? How did you use that and slice still? Did you blocked it dead right? I bet you didn't.
Not actually. No, it actually fixed me for a little bit, and then I come off it. I get lazy, and then I'd smash the damn things to keep you from.
I can fix that, dude. I'm telling you.
I know, to the right.
I'm telling you I can fix it. Nope.
Aim to the right of the screen. Swing inside.
$99.99 a month.
No, I'm not even going to charge you.
No.
Yeah. No, don't worry. He's gotten me somewhere along the line. He sent me an old loan request the other day. So he had a glitch in his system and must be a lead gen. So
yeah, we accidentally had, I don't know, something happened with this software, and every single person that we'd ever did a loan for got late notices. Well, then they'd already been paid off. That's not necessarily true because, my name's involved on a lot of them, and I only got 4 of them, and you only got 1, right?
No, we got 2.
Okay. So it's not all. So that's good news.
Yeah. No, it wasn't all of them, but either way.
I mean,
John,
you're
thanks
right.
for coming on. We'll have to have you back on for a full episode here shortly. I know you've been working on a lot of stuff. Appreciate you stopping in.
Yeah.
And, we'll catch you in a little bit.
Appreciate you guys. We'll see you.
Yep. Thank you.
Man. Working on a lot of stuff. Does that mean working on lifting weights and
No. Me and him we're working on something. So
Dang,
we'll-
do tell.
We'll release it here shortly. A little more formal.
Do tell.
Maybe a little more formal group. We've both been going back and forth about it because, again, it comes down to time commitment, doing the right thing, giving people what they want, not just being a guru and standing up there and not even doing the asset class anymore. And all you do is sell coaching, right? Like, that's not what we're interested in doing. We're interested in surrounding ourselves with business owners that are actually doing deals and real estate. And we don't ever want to lose sight of what made us and or what we enjoy doing on an everyday basis. So with that being said, we are willing to do a group. However, we don't want it to take attention from our everyday business, willing to pour into people, and just trying to figure out how to formalize it a little more. So we've been working on that. Nothing groundbreaking has hit the ground, but it's like, you can only do so many Zoom calls. You can only do so many live meetups. Like, what is it? What gets people to tick? And what it is really just hanging out and being a part of a group and people that have similar interests to you to growing and scaling a business is a lot of what we talked about. So.
Got it.
Anyway, so it's supposed to rain all weekend. The good news is there's all kinds of good sports on, right? We got for those of you, the NFL drafts on. And then we got some golf on this weekend, huh?
Well, there's always golf on this weekend, but the golf that we're interested in is the PGA Professional National Championship that Ian's bestie and
business partner
and business partner Mikey Little is going to be attending. My brother Danny's going to be attending it. I think this is his 10th one. He's 10 for 10, or maybe it's his 9th one, 9 for 9, but or 8 for 8, or this would be his 9th, or 9 for 9. This would be his 10th. I'm not exactly sure, but that's on Golf Channel Sunday night. They go Sunday through Wednesday, so Sunday night and Monday, and then they got a cut. And if Ian would just hit his goals and buy a plane, we would be there right now. But it's in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Albuquerque is so freaking hard to get to, and it's literally full day of travel. And if you get weather, forget it. It's all jacked up. So, but
it's awesome to see.
Did Mikey ever get his clubs?
They just showed up this morning. But to bring it back to like everything else, like it's awesome to see two people who are passionate about something, being able to go out, pursue their dreams, go play a sport at a super high level. And that sport could be business, it could be sports, it could be anything. But to compete at that level is insane. I mean, they're competing against 235 golfers for 20 spots, dude. Not to mention, if they do make it, they go to Oak Hill and they play up there. And then you're talking about the world's best they're playing against. So it should be fun to watch, interesting to watch, excited for all of them. Legit prize money on the line too. So good for all of them, and congratulations to everybody playing out there, and good luck to Michael Little and Danny Balin.
Did you tell Mikey that he's got extra pressure since it's your birthday during Oak Hill? Your 40th.
No, I'm going to wait till Sunday right before he tees off.
Yeah, it's your 40th birthday. That weekend or that day actually, and he's gonna be letting you down if he doesn't make it.
Nah, dude, he's got this. He's wearing the Clubhouse 54 name. Pumped for him. He's got Nick Biondo on the bag, so them boys should be good. So I'm excited. I'm gonna get Rowena to cut this clip and push that out there now and tag Mikey in Clubhouse 54 because I got high hopes for them and I'm excited. And it's really fun to watch. So
all good. All right, everybody. We will we're going live next week. So look out for it. If you have anything between now and then, shoot us an email, comment on any of these posts, and Ian and I are very transparent, happy to help out. And if you got any value from this, we'd appreciate a like, a share, or maybe even tell one of your friends or other real estate investors, and happy to provide them value as well. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to the Real Estate Reserve podcast. Do us a favor and like, comment, and share our broadcast. It helps the algorithm and helps us spread the word too. Till next time, thank you for tuning in.